Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. And so today we want to talk about tax planning. I've been getting questions about, should you be paying for tax planning? And the short answer is yes. Okay. And let me tell you what, people this year are figuring out why tax planning is a big deal. Okay. So, but let's talk about what tax planning is, how it works for you, and then you make a decision on your own. Okay. So tax planning is looking at your whole financial plan from a tax perspective. As tax professionals, we look at ways to reduce your liability, to also, to put your money in places that's going to help defer taxes. That's what tax planning is. We look at, how much money you make, when you make it, types of purchases that you're going to make. We look at the type of deductions that are available to you, when deductions expire, phase out, when tax credits expire, phase out. We look at all of those things. And so what it does is then it gives you a financial picture of what is going to work out for you tax-wise, right? Because the last thing you want to do is give way too much money to the government. And so this is what tax planning does. And so you pay for tax planning because what it's going to cost you for tax planning is going to save you thousands over time. And this is the part that people miss. People want to get upset and it's like, why should I pay $200 or $300 to talk to you? Well, you're not just talking to somebody just holding random conversation. We're talking about specialized conversation that's actually going to save you money over time. Because I guarantee you, if a lot of people had spent some time to talk to their tax professionals over the last year, there would not be so many people having heart attacks this year because of their refunds and their tax liabilities. Okay. And here, I'm going to give you a tip. That's an easy one. Everybody talked about, the child tax credit doubled. Yeah, but guess what? If you have a child that's not going to be 17 next year, that's going to be over the age of 17 next year, guess what you won't get? A child tax credit. You're going to get what's called the other dependent credit. The child tax credit is worth up to $2,000. The other dependent credit is $500. So there are going to be some people who are losing $1,500 worth of tax credits next year. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to know that you are going to be losing that amount? This is why you pay tax people. This is why you pay for tax planning, because that's what we do. We look at your whole entire financial situation. You cannot get your tax planning from Google and YouTube. I don't care how many of my videos you watch. I don't care if you watch every video on YouTube by every tax professional that ever lived. The fact is that every tax situation is different. And when you sit down with a tax planner, they're looking at your situation, how things are working out for you. Okay. And so not only are we looking at your deductions and tax credits, we're also looking at your investments. We're looking at, whether it's retirement, where you're investing in stocks and bonds. I mean, it's a lot that goes into it that, you're like, hey, it might be a good idea for you to do X, Y, Z. Now, we can tell you what to do. You can either do it or not. Okay. We're not here to make you do it or to put the plan in place. That is your job. But we as tax professionals are here to help you come up with said plan, to look at how things are going to go over the next year, the next 2 years, keeping our ear to the ground about tax advantage things that you can take advantage of. But again, we can't do it for you. We can tell you about it, but then you got to go do the work to get her done. Because all the loop it, swoop it, all the sexy tax stuff is done during the year, not at tax time. You can't sit down with your tax professional on April 15th and say, you need to fix it. No, we ain't magicians. If you did not do the work during the year, there's nothing we can do on April 15th. That's just not how that works. And so now when you're getting your taxes done during this tax season, you better be making an appointment with your tax professional to look at your overall plan. What you pay for tax preparation, that is for tax preparation. It is not for someone to take their time and look at your whole financial plan and say, hey, these are some things that you should consider. See, people want to cheap out when it comes down to the accounting and tax and the business end of life. You want to cheap out and think you can do it yourself. Okay, go for that. But as you can see from the tax filing for 2019, that hadn't worked out so well for people. You have people who were depending on refunds to pay off some bills that those refunds aren't showing up. You've got people who did not have a tax liability before, that's got to pay taxes now. And if they had just simply taken the time to talk to somebody and not fallen asleep at the wheel with this tax reform, then it would be a lot of different outcomes. People would have been prepared. And I mean, the horror stories are just coming left and right of like, holy cow, this is not what I expected. I thought this was supposed to be a tax cut. People are in higher tax brackets now, and they're not loving life at all. So yeah, you should be paying for tax planning. If your tax professional does not do tax planning, then you need to find someone who does. Because this is not necessarily money that's gonna be saved right now, but when you look at money over time that you could be saving in taxes and putting in other vehicles such as investments and stuff that's gonna make money for you, that's what you want in your life. Okay, it's not a right now thing. It's an over time thing. Wealth building, tax savings, these are things that happen over time. People tend to think that, tax planners and financial planners are only for wealthy people. This is how wealthy people get wealthy. You take the time and you put value on your finances and your tax planning. And then over time, it might not even be for you. It might be for your kids. Your kids might be the one reaping the benefits of the $200 or $300 consultation that you have today. But you absolutely, and especially if you're getting baptized by fire right now with this tax reform and you're not liking how your tax situation is looking, you better believe you better be investing in some tax planning with your tax professional to see how you can do things differently for next year. Some things is not as simple as adjusting a W-4. Sometimes that's not the issue. There's this great belief that, all of your tax refunds comes from overpaying your taxes and you need to just adjust your W-4. That's not always the case. Sometimes it's that you need to be putting your money in tax advantaged places. Sometimes you're getting the benefit of a tax credit that isn't permanent. So this is what tax people do. This is what tax planners do. This is what financial planners do. They look at your overall situation and make a plan, and then you reevaluate the plan every year because stuff changes all the time. So if you don't learn anything else from the 2019 tax season, learn that you need to invest in tax planning. Because if you invest in tax planning, you then pay the lowest amount of taxes possible, you maximize your credits and deductions, and you find tax advantage places to put your money so that then you can grow wealth. Taxes is the biggest expense that you will pay in your lifetime. More than college, more than raising kids, more than buying a home, taxes is the biggest expense. Why not put forth the effort to learn how to reduce that expense as much as possible? Okay, so absolutely, you need to be hiring a tax planner. If you don't have a financial planner, you need to get one of those too, because it's all wrapped in together, right? Your taxes, your investments, all of it matters. It's not just one part. Taxes is a part of an overall financial plan. Investing is just one part of an overall financial plan. Okay, so I hope that gives you some food for thought. Listen, if you have not scheduled your complimentary 15-minute consultation, you can do so right here, www.homebiztaxchat.com. And that is it for today's episode of Home Biz Tax Talk. Again, you can tune in Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.